Hello students, welcome to Global Online. Here we are with our UGC NTA NET preparation for paper 1, that is for June 2024 examination. And in today's session, we'll be having the most important questions on the topic, that is cognitive domain. We'll be having a new topic to discuss, that is working memory. And we'll be taking a question based on choice-based credit system, which comes under the unit that is teaching aptitude, which is the unit 1 of your paper 1. So yes, now without taking much time, let's start with the session for the day. And here comes your first question. Now, the first question says that the interactive content. So just make sure that you're reading the question very clearly. The interactive content in modern books may contain a two-dimensional code that is called as 2D pattern of dark rectangles, which is called as QR codes. Okay. Now, what is the full form of QR? That is qualitative reader, quick response, we have quality record, and quick router. Now let's understand first of all the entire question. So we have the first topic here is interactive content. So what do you mean by interactive content? The content which helps to convey the message in the form of what? In the form of active engagement. So right now, if I am trying to give you some interactive content, I am trying to engage you as the student. So like some questions I am able to put, some questions are coming from your end and we are into the interactive phase, which can be in any form. So right now, see, I have kept a question in front of you and you are supposed to answer this question. So this becomes what? It becomes a e-quiz, or that is, it becomes a quiz, or it becomes, it can be in the form of any video. I'll show the video, I'll tell you to summarize the video. It is in the form of ebook. So interactive content doesn't mean that you have to speak, but I will ensure that I, as a facilitator, is helping you to revert back, to respond to what I'm saying, to respond to what message I'm conveying. So this is called as what? Interactive content. And modern books. So we are talking about today's books where this interactive content contains a two-dimensional code that is called as 2D pattern of dark rectangles. Now, there is something called as one-dimension code. Okay, and there is something called as two-dimension codes. Now you should understand what is the difference between this. So when I say one-dimensional code, so it is only either your horizontal lines or it can be your vertical lines. It is one of them. Okay, either this or this. But if I'm saying two-dimension code, so it is in the form of QR code, which is, which you have in your apps, UPI app, you can tell, or QR codes in the books, which you will scan, and the content will become in the form of what? Interactive content. So this is the entire question. I hope everyone is clear with the question now. Now, in this question, they are asking us, these are the QR codes, right? So what is the full form of this QR codes? So do we call it as quality reader? Do we call it as quick response? Do we call it as quality record? Or do we call it as quick router? So let's see. Now let's see the option first. That is quality reader. I'll explain you the options. Then you can come to the answer. It will help you to come to the answer. Quality reader, it means a reader who is qualitative in the reading. The one who knows, how to go through the screening, scanning of reading. So quality reader. Quality record, it means documents which contains quality information, like the inspection report, which contains all the important cues or concepts. Quick router, which is used in computer. So obviously, if you see, I've explained you all the options very well. Okay, now let's see how you will be answering this question. So quality reader, we have understood. Quality record, we have understood. Quality router, we have understood. But does it matches with any number of any part of the question? No. So the QR form, basically, what is the QR form? It is nothing but it is called as quick response. Quick response is the right answer, which stands for what? Which stands for acronym QR. That is quick response. I hope it is very clear with everyone. So now you know what is interactive content, you know what is one-dimensional code, you know what is two-dimensional code, and now you also know what is QR called as. It is called as your quick response, right? Now, let's move ahead with question number 2. Now, question number 2 is on the topic cognitive domain, right? So let's read the question very clearly. Arrange the given objectives for cognitive domain in the hierarchical order as the basis of complexity of the task. So now let's understand. So cognitive order, first of all, I hope the question is very clearly given, which falls under your Bloom's taxonomy. So under Bloom's taxonomy, you have three domains. That is your cognitive, you know very well. Okay. Then you have your affective domain, and then you have your psychomotor domain, right? So cognitive, which stands for your knowledge, affective, which stands for your emotions, your attitude, and psychomotor, which stands for your skills. So it is also called as KSA, knowledge, skills, and attitude, right? Now, before we go ahead, let's understand that when we talk about these particular domains, okay, as I said, they come under Bloom's taxonomy. So taxonomy is nothing but principles. Now, principles of what? Principles of learning. Fine. Or you also called as it is also known as learning taxonomy. In another words, it will be called as learning taxonomy. The meaning is what? Here you need to achieve the goals of learning. See, please try to understand these all small details are very important for you to understand, because one question can give you so much information without any trouble. You can just capture the information and keep, which will really help you in other questions also. So we are talking, the question is based on cognitive domain sequence. But first of all, where this cognitive domain falls under the category as Bloom's taxonomy. Taxonomy is nothing but what? Principles. Principles of what? Learning. Or in other words, you can call it as learning taxonomy, or also you can call it as goals of learning. So what is the aim of learning? So now cognitive domain, which makes things simple, which takes from simple to complex. So here in the question, they have given very clearly, see, in hierarchical order as the basis of complexity of the task. So it starts from simple, move towards what? Move towards your complexity. Now here you have to arrange the order. So I'll just clear the screen so that you can see the question, or the question is there in the next slide also. So you have the uh, tasks, that is application, evaluation, knowledge, analysis, and synthesis. Now it is given in this format. You have to arrange them in the basis of complexity. So what comes first? I'll just wait for some students to come with the answer, and then later we can go ahead, right? So when we are talking about the sequence, okay, so please try to remember when we talk about cognitive, as I said, it goes from what? Simple to complex, right? So now in all this application, okay, the simple one will start with what? Obviously, you will start with your knowledge. So knowledge which will help you to recall, okay, which will help to know, like for example, over here, to know the safety rules, to know the safety rules of driving, to know the safety rules while crossing the street. So just knowing it, knowledge. So since this is something very important and everyone should start from this, right? After knowledge, we come to what? Once your knowledge is clear, you try to comprehend it. That is in the form of what? It is in the form of comprehension, right? Comprehension, it means you try to understand it. You try to explain the complex thing in simple way. You put it in your own words. Like for example, how to apply law. So you are not a technical person, but you can tell it in a very simple form. Then after understanding, you can put it into the application. You can put it into use. You know how to use these concepts, how to apply these concepts. After application, you will do an analysis where you will study them in detail as a separate component. So you'll understand, you can gather the information, and then you can categorize it. And then comes what? Then comes your synthesis. Okay, synthesis, it means it talks about what? It talks about building a pattern in order to, in order to understand, or like for example, you want to write, operation manual of the organization. So you build a pattern in order to write the operation manual. And then finally, you will go for what? You will go for evaluation, wherein you will make the judgments. So like, for example, if you're talking about, hiring a candidate, so here you will make a judgment that a candidate is qualified or not. So these are the steps. So if you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and 6 steps, but they have not given you, they have not given you comprehension part. They have given you knowledge. Yes, so knowledge comes first. So you should see where is C. So C, in option C only C is first, but let's cross check everything. After knowledge comes is your application, that is option number A. Yes, application comes. Then comes your next part is after application is your analysis. Yes, so your D option should come. After A you have D option. Then comes your synthesis part, that option number E, and then comes your evaluation part. So if you see, the right answer is option number C. This is your answer. Okay, and I hope everyone is clear with the domain very well. And this question is again, now even this question was one of the previous year question in 2022 cycle. So see, these questions, till date, the domains and the steps, the sequence of the domains also comes. So you should be very clear about these steps. Okay, understand a trick, do some type of acronym to remember this, and this is very, very important, right? Now, coming to question number 3, everyone, we have two statements, and in this two statements, you should be able to, I will just, just a second. This, yes, I think this one, yes. So you have two statements, and in this two statements, you have to identify which statement stands to be right, which statement stands to be, wrong, right? So let's read out the statement and let's understand the statement. So statement 1 is working memory has a development trajectory. It increases throughout childhood and it decreases on aging. Statement 2, working memory does not get adversely affected by ongoing stress. So these are two concepts, but you do not know, first of all, what is working memory. That itself is not clear. So let me tell you, working memory is nothing but your cognitive memory, which is short term, which is very you can say short term, which has a limited capacity. It is temporary. You hold it temporarily for your, for your understanding, and then you forget it, right? It is stored in the short term form, but it is important in order to guide you to take the decision, to help you to behave. But it is important, though it is short term, it is important, right? So working memory, that is short term memory, has a development trajectory. Now what is this meaning of trajectory? Trajectory is nothing but a path, a direction, right? Now this is your first part of a statement. Working memory has a development trajectory. Yes, path. It increases. Now they're saying it increases throughout childhood. Now just analyze, okay, our increase. See, like for example, from infant stage to the stage of 1 year, 2 year, when the child starts speaking. In fact, in the learning theories, you have studied very well the development age. Okay, from the age of 2, when the child starts speaking and understanding, till the age of 7, the memory is very, very, at a peak stage. So yes, it increases through childhood. And yes, you can. This is a very live example in our day-to-day life. Let's take an example of our grandparents. Let's take an example after a certain age. Okay, many of the elderly people, they start losing their memory. That they are not able to recall. They do not remember what happened, where they. Okay, there is one. I mean to say, there is one reason, medical reason also, and medical term also for this. But let's not go into that. We just know that, okay, childhood the memory is strong, and with age it decreases. Yes, the statement is the statement right? Is this really happens? Is this happening in the real life? You should know that. Okay, now statement 2 is that the memory, this short term memory, does not gets affected at all by the stress. So now you have a time that you need to tell me that whether statement 1 is right, statement 2 is right, 3 is right, or what which options are right. So let me tell you one thing. Meanwhile, till you're thinking, working memory, short term memory, you, in case if you want to know what is long term memory, long-term memory is something called as information processing memory or theory. Okay. Information processing theory is something which is called as long-term memory, right? It's not given in the question, but just for your understanding. Fine. So now, So yes, I hope everyone will be little bit. First statement, I don't think there should be any doubt. Statement one is correct. Okay, now the main thing is statement two. Does stress affect the memory? Now please understand, anything which happens to a body, to the human body, anything. It can be your frequent headaches, acidity you can take, maybe like for example your body pain or body ache. These are nothing, these are not the symptoms, of physical weakness. It is actually the symptoms of stress. So if I talk about stress, it is something which has a very powerful influence on the memory, and it appears, it impacts depending upon the type of memory. So what type of memory do you have, and it really impacts. But yes, acute stress means if you are taking a stress at a very high level, it will definitely disturb your working memory. And so statement 2 here is incorrect, but because they are saying it does not affect big birth, we know very well that working memory gets affected by the ongoing stress. So the right answer here will be your option number C, because working memory is increasing in childhood, decreasing in aging, and working memory does get affected with stress. So statement 1 is correct, statement 2 is incorrect, right? Okay, now let's go to the next question, choice-based credit system. Now here it says that choice-based credit system allows students to choose which of the following. So they have given you the options: interdisciplinary, intradisciplinary, skill-oriented, open book examination, cataloging services. These are the options, right? So first of all, CBCS, they have already given the full form, so you don't have to stress. Choice-based credit system. So choice-based credit system is what? Is a system which allows flexibility in curriculum, which allows, credit allocation for teaching by of the course and teaching hours, right? It helps in or it emphasizes more on group discussion, assignments in the class activities, which helps in positive learning. So yes, choice based credit system is something which tries to bring positive atmosphere of learning. Not only this, okay, if you see, this system is also used in grading and evaluating. Choice based credit system, no, your grading and evaluation both takes place in, okay, and it is very important. You should know the performance of the students. To map the performance, this system is very, very important. Not only this, it offers, certain amount of selection to the students. So now the question is that only, which selection it offers: interdisciplinary, within the discipline, I mean to say, like for within, that is intra, and in a different discipline, that is inter, right? And skill oriented. So let me tell you, if anyone of you is not aware of this, because on that one statement only the entire question is framed. Choice based credit system actually was introduced as a vision of new education policy, had to basically to balance between teaching, okay, and skills. So if you see interdisciplinary, intradisciplinary, and skills, definitely it was a balance. So definitely this selection will be out of this three. And it is the approach in order to bring learner centric way of development. So right, so if you see open book examinations, if we have not yet, I mean to say, in India yet it has not been uh, supported. In some foreign countries it is there, and cataloging services is not, it's not related to the question. So if you see choice based credit system, so choice based credit system is basically something which gives selection from your interdisciplinary, intra, and skill oriented. So this becomes what? This becomes your answer, right? Fine. Okay. Now coming to the next question, you have list 1 and list 2. So list 1 is the models. They have given you the models. List 2 is the developer. Okay. So let's see what are the model: inductive thinking, mnemonics, advanced organizers, synetics. So unless and until now, see, this question may be very difficult for you, especially if you're not aware. But see, that's the reason this platform of Global Online will help you to remember these questions very well, understand the topic, and go ahead. So when I say inductive thinking is, is a pattern. okay, which observes, a pattern observed in order to draw a conclusion. A pattern which we observe to draw a conclusion, or you can say, in other words, you draw a conclusion from specific, okay, to some, sorry, the spelling mistake, from something very specific. Just a second. Yes. Okay. Something very specific to general. So it helps to draw the conclusion, right? And yes, this particular, this was invented by Francis Bacon, but our question is not about invention. Our question is about development. Who has developed this? Mnemonics, it is something, basically a strategy to improve. What is mnemonics? It is a strategy to improve your memory. So, strategy which we used in order to improve the memory or retention of memory. So, again, you should know the developer of this. Advanced organizers, it means it is a tool. Organizers are nothing but it is a tool which will help the students to learn whatever they have already studied. So it will help them in learning it in a better manner, right? And synetics, now what is basically synetics, it means, or what exactly it is understood as. So when we talk about the term, or when we know the term synetics, it is basically, something in the form of creativity in the group, which makes your group creative, which helps, in bringing together the different ideas. Actually, this word is a Greek word, it's a Greek term, and it helps joining together all the different ideas. So if we see, if you're joining the ideas, different ideas togetherly, it's something you bring in the form of creativity, which will help your students, to make some uh, different thing in a original form. Also they can make something different, something new. Okay, so yes, these are the options they have given. I have explained you all the options. What is inductive thinking? Coming to general understanding, mnemonics is something in the form of strategy to improve memory. Advanced organizer tool in order to make your learning better. Synetics is something which will help you to make something creative. Now, this question is very factual here. If you do not know, it becomes difficult. So, inductive thinking was actually, okay, was brought by whom? It was developed, okay? It was developed by Hilda, okay? This particular concept of inductive was developed by Hilda Taba. So, if you can see option number one, A is one, okay? Mnemonics was something which was brought up by whom? Which was brought up by Michael Persley. Okay. He was the one who was introduced this term. Advanced organizers, which was brought by David Asubel, and synetics, which was brought by Bill Gordon. So if you see A is 1, so let's see in which option A is 1 given. A is 1, B is 2, yes. C is 4, David, and synetics is 3. So your right option turns to option number B. Okay. So your right option is nothing but option number B, the right answer. Right? I hope you have got or you have learned very new terms. So this is how, our explanation and the teaching process at the global online platform will be going on. At the same time, those students who are not aware, let me tell you, we have new batches going to start up. So how your courses, you have paper 1 complete course. New batch is starting from 17th of Jan 24, where we have live lectures, weekly tests, syllabus notes, mock test, 2000 plus MCQ series, previous year question papers at a discounted price of 2400. You can download the global online app. So you have to go to the Google Play Store, download the app, registered yourself with registered number, go to the course selection. Once you go that, you will be getting all the access to the content once your payment is done, and you can start studying. Everything is there on the app in a strategic way, which will help your journey of achieving the goal of achieving the net or cracking the net examination smoother. And yes, it will definitely help you to go ahead in your professional journey also. So that's all for the day. Tomorrow we will be having the session at 9 p.m. live on the app. So you can just get into touch. Okay. Any doubts, any concern, the WhatsApp numbers are given on the screen. You can get in touch with us. Thank you, everyone.